Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build your own task management database in Microsoft Access. Today's question comes from Walter in Amarillo, Texas, one of my Platinum members. Walter says, I'd love it if you could show us how to build a task management database. I have a million things on my to-do list. I need help organizing them based on priority, due date, what customer they're for, and that kind of stuff. If you could show me how to make buttons to show just the open tasks or all the tasks, that would be great too. Oh, and a search box. Thanks. Oh, is that all, Walter? Is that all? Okay. Well, since you're a Platinum member, I think I can handle this. All right. Now, before we get started, go watch my contact management video. It's absolutely free. It's on my website. There's the link. You'll also find a link you can click on down below in the description. A lot of the techniques that I'm going to cover today, I've already covered in the customer contacts video, but like I always say, Access is like playing with Legos, right? It's all the same blocks, you just put them together differently. So we're going to put the blocks together differently and make a task manager instead of a contact manager. And yes, I am going to cover a couple new things a little bit later on too, so it's not all the same stuff. You'll find some other prerequisites for that video too, like the default value, relationships, relational combo boxes, conditional formatting. So all the stuff you'll need today, you'll find in that video. So here I am in the Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can download it off my website. If you watch the contact management database, then you know exactly where to find this and how I built it. Here's all that stuff, right? You got your customer list, your customer form. Each customer can have multiple contacts. And of course, there's orders. If you haven't watched the invoicing video, go watch that too. You don't need that for today, but there's good stuff in here too. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's start by creating our task table. It's always a good idea to get your tables built first. So there's a table. And we're going to start with the auto number, right? Task ID. Always start off with an auto number. Well, not always. 99% of the time, you're going to start off with an auto number. There are some exceptions. Customer ID will be next. That'll be a number of type long integer. That's our foreign key pointing to our customer table. So we can optionally assign this to a customer if we want to. A lot of your tasks don't have to be, but if you want to say this is associated with this customer, that's fine. We'll have a description field. That'll be short text. Then we'll also have notes. That'll be long text. I like to be able to have a little short text. Like it just tells you basically what it's about to show up in your lists. And then, of course, your notes field, you can have as much stuff as you want in there. Couple of dates. We'll have the date created. That'll be a date time value. We'll have the date due, which will be optional if you want to set a due date. I don't always put due dates on my tasks. A lot of stuff is just like do it when you do it. You got to get to this eventually, so do it. Right? Things like I got ideas for courses I want to make and stuff. And there's no due date for it, but yeah, I'd like to get to it sometime. And then there are other tasks where this has to be done by March 1st, for example. So you put a due date on it. All right, and then maybe a date completed, and that is how we'll know if a task is finished or not. If this is null, that means that it's still open. Once it's done, we'll put a date completed in there. Now for date created, I'm going to set the default value equal to now. That's NOW and then open close parentheses. So every time I create a new record, it'll automatically put the date created in there. If you haven't watched my default value video, go watch that. And then finally, I'm going to put an importance on the end here. That'll be a number. And this is going to be one of those rare instances I'm going to show you in a minute where we're not going to use an auto number, but this will be saving a number value. All right, I'm going to make another table for importance where 1 is going to be equal to low, 2 is medium, and then 3 is high. These are priorities. Okay, I'm going to set the default value to 2. So by default, all the new tasks that get created will be medium priority. I can drop it to low if it's not that important, or I can increase it to high. You can add more if you want to, but I have found that more than 3 options tends to get a little distracting and confusing, right? Maybe an urgent option, maybe. All right, but generally low, medium, and high gets me through. If you want to add more fields, like the status of the task, is it you just started it or whatever, the percent completed. I've seen a lot of other task management databases, especially when I was doing a little research for this video. There's a million other fields you can add. These are the core ones that I feel are the most important. For your business, if you got to add more stuff, go right ahead. If you want to have what employee it's assigned to or what the location of the task is, knock yourself out, okay? But I'm going to show you the basics in this video. All right, so let's save this. This will be my task T, my task table. All right, primary key defined. Yes, it'll grab that auto number, make it the primary key. Now, let's go set up that importance table. All right, this is an associated helper table. Create table design. All right, I'm going to have an importance ID, and this I'm going to make a number. Now, I always talk about and I always preach the benefits of auto numbers. And yes, most tables, 99% of tables, you should use an auto number. But once in a while, I'll use a number that I control. Now, I'm going to manually hit this primary key button. This is going to be a primary key. It's going to be a number. It's going to be long integer. It's going to be index, no duplicates. Okay? But I want to control the value, that 1, 2, 3, right? I'll only do this for small lists, right? This is going to have 3 options, maybe 5 max. Okay? I want to control what that number is. I don't want to like accidentally delete medium and have to go through the tricks to get number 2 back. Okay? That number is also going to control the sort. Yeah, I could set up another field to sort order, but this is fine. I will only do this for little helper tables that are edited by the admin only. I will never do this with a table that your users can modify because I don't trust them. But me, I trust. So yes, a regular number for this table is okay. It's only getting 3 entries. Okay, and then I'm going to put the description here. That'll be short text. Save this as importance T. And we'll put some values right in here. So let me resize these columns a little bit. All right, so 1 is low, 2 is medium, that's our default, and 3 is high. And that's it. So I'm okay with using a normal number for this table. Those are the only records this table will probably ever see. But I have the flexibility to add more in the future if I want. A lot of times building your database is trying to guess what your needs of the future are going to be, so you want to keep things flexible. All right. That's why I wouldn't build this list, for example, straight into a value list combo box where it's always set in the combo box. Because if I want to change it and I've got that combo box in 5 different places in my database, it's a pain to change it. I have to go and modify 5 different combo boxes. Putting even a simple list like that in a table makes a whole lot more sense because I only have to update this list in one spot. Okay. Okay, now my task manager is going to be a continuous form. I got a blank continuous form right here that I created in the blank template. I'm going to copy that. Copy, paste. We're going to call this guy the task F, my task form. Let's open that up in design view. All right, let's set the colors. I like to put the colors down first. Let's go with like that color there. Yeah, that looks good. And I'll do the same thing in the center here, but I like to take the center then and I'll make it a little bit lighter. So we'll go to more colors and we'll maybe drag this up to here like that. All right, looks good. Let's make these black so we can actually see them. Okay, looks good. Let's set the form caption, open up the properties, come into format. I'm going to set the caption equal to task manager like that, or whatever you want to call it. Now let's bind this form to the task table. So let's go to data, record source. We're going to drop this down and pick the task T, task table. Okay. Let's bring up our list of fields. So let's go up to form design, add existing fields. Here's a list of fields. Now, we don't need to put task ID on this form. I don't care to see it. It's that auto number. We're going to need it for making relationships and stuff later on, but do we need to really see that on the task form? No, not really. The only reason that you'd need to put that auto number on the form is if you want to read that value from somewhere else. If you got another related table and you have to be able to read what the current task ID is, then add it there. And usually I'll add it, but I'll keep it hidden. I just put it up there for my beginner videos and stuff just to teach people how auto numbers work and what they are. But as you get a little bit more advanced, I stop using them as far as putting them on my forms. All right, so I'm going to set this first box here. I'm going to set this to the date created. So we'll put created here. And I'm going to double click on this guy and change the control source to date created. Go to all. Make sure you name it also date created. We don't want text 1. Okay. Now I'm going to change the format too. I don't want just the date. I want to see date and time. So I'm going to go to format. Now I recently switched all my databases and everything that I do over to the ISO date standard, which is YYYY-MM-DD. And I want the time here too, HH:NN. Now that's 24-hour time format. If you want the AM PM, you can go AM PM on the end of it. I personally don't. I'm getting used to 24-hour time. And I like this ISO date format because I got customers all around the world. I got customers in Britain and Australia and France and wherever. And so this is a nice universal time format that everyone can agree on. I'll put a link down below to my ISO date video. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch that if you're curious and want to learn more. And we'll probably have to give that a little bit more space because it's a bit wider. I like to see the time on there too. Let's take a peek. Let's save this, close it, open it back up again. Let's see what we got. Okay, need a little teeny bit more room. Just a smidge. Get that right about there. I don't really like switching over to layout view. I hate layout view. Yeah, you can go to layout view, but I've had problems with layout view before. I've had it corrupt stuff, especially when you start dealing with VBA in your code. It just, I don't know, it mangles things. I'm going to select this. I like to left align everybody. And let's see what it looks like now. Save changes and take a peek. Okay, it looks pretty good. Leave a little extra space over here on the end. All right. The second field here, I'm going to make the description field. And the only reason I'm doing these manually is because I already have boxes here. We can use that add existing fields if you want to and drag stuff over, which we'll do in a minute. Let's double click on you. Let's change this to the description. Make sure you change the name as well. All right, and that's fine. That can be right about there. Change the label up top, description. All right, next I want my importance, but importance is going to be a combo box. Right, that's that 1, 2, 3, high, medium, low. All right, we don't have one of those yet, so let's go ahead and build one. Combo box, drop it there. All right, we want the combo box to get values from another table or query. We're going to get our values from the importance T. What fields do you want to bring over here? Bring them both, because this is the bound field. This is the one we want to see. Right? What do you want to sort by? Well, in this case, we're going to sort by the ID, because I set it up that way, 1, 2, 3. All right, next. What do you want the column to look like? There you go. Hide the key column. We don't need to see that, right? But we need to save it because that's getting saved in the table. Next. And now it's asking us, we want to remember that for later use or store that value in a field. We're going to store that in importance. Okay, next. What label would you like? Doesn't matter. We're going to delete it anyways and finish. And that is building a relational combo box. It's a combo box that gets its values from a different table or query and stores them in this table. All right, delete that combo box label. We're going to slide you over to the left. And notice how it's just one of my pet peeves. It doesn't come in right on the grid. See that right there? If you look at it real close, look at that. That's not, I hate that. So we're going to select this stuff, right-click size to grid. There we go. And I just dragged this down so I can show you that stuff with the grid. Let's save this, put a label over the top of it, of course, copy, paste, slide you over here. We'll call this importance or priority or whatever you want to name it. I don't care. All right, let's see what it looks like. Okay, looks pretty good, looks pretty good. How about some conditional formatting in there? And again, if you've never done conditional formatting, go watch my conditional formatting video. You'll find a link down below. Format, conditional formatting. Look at that. It's combo 4. I forgot to give the combo box a name. That's another one of my pet peeves with the combo box wizard. I love the combo box wizard. It is one of my favorite wizards. It's one of my favorite wizards. I can't talk today. But it doesn't give you an option to name that combo box. Right? So I'm going to put importance combo. I like to end my combo boxes in combo just so I know what they are. All right, so let's try this again. Click and click. All right, now it's the importance combo. Let's add a new rule. If the field value is equal to 1, we're going to make this guy green, just a light green. All right, and new value, we're going to say if the field value is equal to 3, if it's high, we're going to make it red, but not that big bright red. Let's go down here to more colors, and we'll go to maybe like there. I don't want it to scream at you, right? And we'll leave 2 white. If it's just medium, we'll leave it white. Hit apply, hit OK, save it, close it. Let's open it back up again. All right, and if I put a new guy in here, like new task, and I come over here and I change this to low, there it goes green. And if I change it to high, there it goes to red. Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right. Again, conditional formatting. You'll find a link to my conditional formatting down below. When I say down below, by the way, if you're on YouTube, everyone always misses this right there. That show more. Click on that, and that will show you all the extra links and stuff. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding that, so I like to point it out once in a while for people. Oh, and look, there's my ISO date format video. Another thing I don't want, when this thing opens up, I don't want it starting here in the created date, because you can't change that. All right. So we're going to right-click Design View. We're going to open this guy up. All right. I don't want the user to be able to edit that first, so we're going to lock that field. We're going to come down here to Data, and then go to locked and set that to yes. And I don't even want the user to stop there on a tab stop. So we're going to go to other and set tab stop to no. All right, save that, close it, open it up again. All right, notice how it now starts me on description. And if I hit tab, it ignores it. And if I click on it, I can't type stuff in there. It's locked. Okay. All right, let's go back to design view. Let's go to that add existing fields. What do we got? Customer ID. That's going to be a combo box. We're going to do that last. Descriptions there. Notes I want to put down here in the bottom, but I've already got a notes box built. Let's go steal the notes box from somewhere else. Let's go to the customer form, and look at that. I got this nice little notes box here. Right click, design view, copy, come over here, and paste. Look at that. And since the field is named the same thing, I always keep my notes fields named notes. That way I can just reuse the pieces parts, right? Look at that. If you open it up, go to its properties, look at notes, and it's bound to notes. Same field, two different tables. And that's okay. This will now be bound to the notes field in this table. All right, the task table. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, we can steal the customer combo box too, right? We can go to the order form where I already have this customer combo box made. Let's just steal that. Right click, design view, click, copy. Let's go back to, where are you? You hide in the background there. We can close this. Click and come here. Click in the detail section and hit paste. There it is. Make some room here. All right. We'll cut you out, paste you up top. Right there. See, it's not on the grid. Look at that. See, it's just off the grid. I hate that. Click. Put the customer there. You're not on the grid. I didn't size these things to grid when I made that other database. All right, there's customer. I'm going to put the customer last, though, because customer, for me personally, I don't usually put tasks in my database for customers. I know a lot of you want to, so I added it in. But I don't. I just do things for, I rarely do things for one customer. Now, in this little space right here, we're going to put date due and date completed. So again, I keep bringing this thing up and I never use it. Honestly, I mostly use this to see what's next. Like, give me a list of what I got to do. But date created and date due and date completed, we can grab those fields and drag them and put them right there. Delete the labels that come with them. I'm going to slide you. I'm going to actually move them over here because this guy is sized exactly to the width that I need for the date format that I like. All right. And now I can put you there. And I can size you to that size too. That. And slide you there. And I got to make customer a little bit more to the right. Get sitting right there. All right. I'm going to highlight both of these guys together. Right click, go to properties, and then find the format. And set the ISO format YYYY dash MM dash DD HHNN. Okay, if you want it. If not, if you just want date, just put short date in there. It'll use whatever your system's format is. All right, copy, paste, paste. Date due. These are just the labels. You can put whatever you want up here as far as what it says. And completed. Okay, slide you up. Slide you up. I know I'm going to have to fix my tab order, so click on, because these will come in the tab order, the order in which you add into the form, right? So if I come in here now and I go tab, 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 see there, it's jumping all over the place because these guys came in last. So design view, don't forget your tab order, auto, okay, and then it'll auto them left to right. And one more time. All right, task, hi, due date, completed, customer. I'm going to left align these two because I know just from experience their dates and numbers come in right aligned. I want everybody left aligned. That's just me. I really don't like right aligning stuff. I know. Accountants like everything right, justified, and all that. Oh, it's still doing it. Sometimes if you grab them all, sometimes it doesn't do it right. Let's see. Left. Sometimes you gotta do it. That. I don't know if it's a bug or what, but there we go. Okay. You know what? Let's add some actual tasks in here. How about let's put some real data in here while we're doing this. It's always easier to work on stuff with actual data in it. So we need to set up a level 1 scan. That'll be high. I want it due today. So to put today's date in there, go control, semicolon. That puts today's date in there. If you want to hit the time too, space, control, shift, semicolon, or control, colon. And there you go. That's the current date and time. Okay, or I'll just get rid of the time and just leave the date in there. Okay, it's not completed yet. Leave it. No customer. You could drop this down, put a customer in there if you want to. Well, let's say Captain Kirk wants that done. All right, we have to engage the Borg. That's high right now. So again, today's date. Now notice the default is it puts it in there at midnight if you don't specify a time. All right, so if you want to put a time in there, let me show this again. Delete it. Right, shift semicolon space 5 p.m. It's that easy to add a time on there. Okay, and again, if you're not used to the 24-hour time, feel free to change the format. Okay, that's of course Picard. Reload the photon torpedoes. That's medium. And that's Kirk wants that. Okay. Aim to misbehave. That's low priority. We'll do this one. This one's going to be due. See, we can use a little date picker here if you want to. This will be due Saturday. Okay, and that's going to be Malcolm Reynolds. Sign up for flute lessons. Low, maybe sometime next week. So I'll type in, you could just type in like 5, what's today? Today's 3/9. So let's say 3/19. Yeah, that's that easy. It's nice with the ISO dates because you don't, if the date that you're typing in is the current year, you can still just type in 3/19 if you're in the US and you're used to month/day. If you're in Britain, no. But if you want to type in a year, you have to type in 2023. You could still use a slash if you want to, 1/2. All right, that'll give you 12/01, or 2023/1/2. That'll give you February 2nd. Whatever. Okay, that'll be Picard. And then remove the tribble infestation. That'll be low, and we'll just leave that for nobody. We could add Scotty to that, but he's not in there. So, if you want to add a list items edit form, you can make a little button down here. It's real easy to do. Watch this. Here, I'll show you. I have a whole video on this, but watch. You open this guy up. I'm giving you guys all the perks today. All right, go to Data, go to List Items Edit Form, click on this thing, drop this down, pick the customer form, okay? And now you can use the customer form to edit items to this box while you're on this form, okay? So, watch this. You want to add Scotty, open up your task form, come in here, there are tribbles, click, drop this down, click that button. There's this, all right? Go to a new record, type in Montgomery. Oh, I forgot my T. Montgomery. I can't spell today. Montgomery Scott. All right, that's all you need for now. Close it, and now he'll be on that list. Okay? It's called a list items edit form. I'll add that to the list of links down below if you want to learn more about that. There's some other tricks you can play. One more thing I want to share. This has a default value set already, and this was set in the invoicing video, where I set the default customer to whatever the open customer is if the customer form is open. See that? The default value, forms, customer F, customer ID. All right, I cover this in the invoicing video. It's also, I have a video called Value from a Form. You'll find a link to that down below as well. The benefit of that is if you're on a customer already, okay, you can put a button here to open up the tasks form, for example. When it opens, notice the new default value on the bottom is the customer that's open. That's very handy. While we're doing it, let's throw some buttons in here, right? We got contacts, we got orders. Let's throw another button on here. Let's open up the task. You know what? Let's do it from the main menu first. I'll come back to this in a second. Hold on. Let's go to the main menu, Design View. All right, let's put a button here to open up tasks. Okay. Now, if you've never done any VBA programming before, go watch my Intro to VBA lesson. I'll put it in the links down below. It's about 20 minutes long. It teaches you all the basics of how to program in VBA. You literally only need a line or two in most circumstances. Okay, like right here, look at the screenshot. See, do command open form. That's what we're going to do right now. You learn a couple of these simple commands. Don't panic. It's not hard. All right, just a couple commands will make your databases a whole lot more powerful. So go watch this video if you've never done any VBA programming before. Go right now. Go. All right, but watch this. I'm going to right-click, build event. That's going to open up my Visual Basic editor. And I'm going to come right in here, and I'm going to type in do command docmd.openform task F. That's it. One line of code. Okay? Now, ideally, you should have named your button first, but I didn't want to scare you. So let's get rid of this. Command 16 click. We don't need that. right? The button is, when we created the button, it didn't have a good name. So open up that button. See, that's command 16. It's a command button. Let's change this to tasks button, BTN. All right, I don't want Alex yelling at me. So right click, build event. Now notice we're in the tasks button click. That's much better. Do command dot open form tasks or task F. Okay, make sure it matches that. Save it, close that. All right, let's close all this stuff down. All right, now when I open up my main menu, I click on tasks, and there it is. There's my whole task list. Okay, see, one line of simple code just to do that. Makes your database is so much better. Yeah, you could do a macro. Yeah, there's a command button wizard that opens a form, but there's all kinds of extra cool stuff you can do once you learn a little bit of VBA. Now, on your customer form, whoop, wrong one. On your customer form, you might want a button here that opens it up and says, show me just this customer's tasks, right? So I'll copy one of these buttons, copy, paste, and we'll put on here tasks. Okay, and I think this guy, okay, it does not have anything in it. All right, so let's name this button. Again, tasks button. It's a different form, so you can have the same name. That's okay. Right click, build event. All right, here we go. Now look at the other code above that. We're going to do something very similar to this, right? Do command dot open form task F, comma, comma, comma. Some options we don't need to worry about, but the where condition is customer ID equals customer ID. In other words, we're saying open up the tasks form and show me all the tasks for the current customer, where the customer ID equals the customer ID on this form. And even though customer ID isn't specifically a field on that form, it's part of the underlying table, so it should still work. All right, you ready? Here we go. Close this, close that, open up this, and let's go to a customer I know has some tasks, like James Kirk. Hit tasks, and look at that. There's just James Kirk's tasks. James Kirk's tasks. Say that 10 times fast. All right, go to someone else. Let's go to Jean-Luc, and there's his tasks. See how nice and easy that is? And notice if you want to add a new one on the bottom, he's the default value because the customer form is open in the background. All right, okay. Pretty cool stuff so far, right? Are you learning something? Is this new for anybody? Raise your hands if it is. Right now, raise your hand. I can see you. You know I can see you, right? Okay. Don't try to cover up that little pinhole camera on your laptop. All right, I'm back. I just noticed this didn't left align right. What's going on here? Design view, click. Sometimes you have to do them individually, folks, and it just doesn't stick. Save, close. Okay, stay over there now. Now, this notes box on the bottom, if you didn't watch my other videos, this notes box is bound to whatever record's up here. So even though this is in the form footer, whatever record you happen to be on is the one that is bound to this. So for example, engage the Borg. I come down here and I say, proceed to Wolf 359, which I was surprised to find out is an actual star system, by the way. Pretty close to Earth. And then prepare deflector dish. And if you're not a Star Trek fan, you won't understand any of these references, and that's okay. There's always time for you. There's still time for you to learn Star Trek. It's okay. You've got time. But now if I click on someone else, notice how that goes away. Okay, remove tribbles, bring can of raid. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to those nice little tribbles. All right, now when I click on engage the Borg again, you can see the notes down here. So these notes are linked to whatever record you're on up here. Now, wouldn't it be nice if I could have two buttons down here that would say show me all tasks or show me just the open tasks, ones that aren't completed. For example, once I'm done engaging the Borg, and I can mark this completed, which is very easy to do with a control semicolon, right? Puts today's completed date in there. Now that task is done. I don't want to necessarily see it. I don't want to delete it, right? I want to keep a history of it, so I have all my notes and stuff from the past. Save all your past tasks. Don't delete them. In fact, I've got a whole different video on why you shouldn't delete records. Save them, mark them completed. Same thing with customers. Mark them inactive. You don't want to delete old customers just because the person moves out of your area or dies or whatever. You still want all of this history, just in case, right? Same thing with orders. You can't delete old orders. You need them for your accounting. All right? I got a video called Don't Delete Data. I'll put a link to that down below too. Go watch that. But the point is, when I open this up in the future, I don't want to necessarily see all of those, unless I do. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to have to come in here and right-click and manually filter it. No. So I want a button right there that does that. So, and also, when I open tasks from this button, I only want to see the open tasks, unless I come in here manually and say, show me the closed ones. So how do I do that? I'll show you that in just a second. But first, a word from our sponsor. And who's the sponsor? Well, that's me. I'm the sponsor. Hi, nice to meet you. This task management database that I'm walking you through building right now is the baby cousin of this guy, my actual Access task management database. I just finished it. I just released it. It's on my website. You can go download a free copy and play with it if you want to. It's got all kinds of features. It's got all the basic stuff that this one that we're building right now has in it, plus more. It's on steroids. You can put tasks in hierarchical lists, right? Like a folder system from Microsoft Windows, right? Files and folders. You can make folders upon folders, a hierarchical list structure, lists with sublists. So you can have phone calls to make in one folder, and then underneath that you can have personal calls, work phone calls, and so on. Like me, for example, I've got courses, then under courses I've got Access, Excel, Word, then under Access I've got seminars and templates, and so on. You can sort based on any column by simply clicking on the column header. I'm going to show that to the members in the extended cut, by the way. It's got search and filters. Again, extended cut, we're going to do some filtering and some searching. All right. You can do filtering based on when the task is due, up to now, up to the end of today, up to tomorrow, within 7 days, 30 days, and so on. All right. It's got recurring tasks. So you can say, I want to repeat this task every week. And when you close one, it just copies it and pushes another one forward a week. So you can set up recurring tasks. You don't want to lose your history of all your old ones, right? So that's what that's for. I like to go down my tasks every couple of days and say, all right, I'm not going to get this to today. I'm going to get this tomorrow. I'm going to do this one next week. So I got little buttons that you can click on, say move this forward a day, move it forward an hour. I want to get to it soon, right? 3 days, a week, whatever. And I've included my cool date and time picker forms to set the date and time that way. It's a lot better than the built-in Access one. Don't get me wrong. I love the Access one too, but mine's better. You can tag customers just like we can in ours. You can also filter it and say, just show me the ones for this particular customer right from the task form. And you can add categories to track whatever other types of information you want. Instead of making separate fields for everything, instead of making an employee field and a location field and an interest field, just throw them all in as categories. Right? You got what employees is it assigned to, what interests are there, are these Star Trek people, Star Wars people, whatever, what location's it at. You can put those all in each task as a category. Every task can have an unlimited number of categories, and you can use that for that. And when you mix together categories with the lists, you get all kinds of combinations. So go check it out. It's on my website. You can download a free copy to play with and see if you like it. Here's the link right there, task, all right? And I will put a link down below that you can click on and go check it out. Okay, so back to our database build. Now, I want to make two queries, one that shows all tasks and another one that shows open tasks, ones that aren't completed yet. So let's go make a task query. All right, create query design. And why am I making a query? Well, I want to put some sorting in here too, because right now, if you look at the task form, right, whoop, get over here. If you look at the task form, these aren't particularly sorted anyway. And every time I open this up, I don't want to have to manually sort it. So let's say I want these sorted by the due date. Okay, now, notice when you sort by due date, all right, if I go sort oldest to newest, the blanks show up at the top. I want to reverse that. I want the blanks at the bottom. So I'll show you how to do that in your query. All right, you ready? So we're going to come in here, add tables, add my task T. All right, bring in the star because I want all the fields. Okay, and I want to sort it by date due. So open this up, go date due. I'm going to hide that. If you don't hide it, if you don't click that box there, when you run this guy, you'll see two copies, right? And I talk about this in one of my classes. You'll see task t.dateDue and then field 0. I want to avoid that. So anytime I bring in an extra field, I turn that box off. And now when you run it, you won't see it. All right, you'll just see the one date field. Now, why did I bring this guy in here? Well, I want to put a sort on it right there. Drop this down, sort ascending. That way all of the stuff that's due sooner shows up at the top of the list. Right? Stuff that's not due for 2 weeks can be at the bottom. Now, when I run this, notice that the stuff that's missing a date due shows up top. Now, how can I get the null values to sort at the bottom of the list? Now, this is a technique that I usually save for my developer classes to show you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come into here. All right, we're going to come in here and we're going to type date due. We have to put it inside of brackets. This is a trick. Date due, all right, is not null. And then hit tab. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see that better. All right, date due is not null. It's going to create this as an expression 1, which basically is an alias. And what this is going to say is this evaluates that as a true or false statement. Is date due null or not? If it is null, it gets a value of -1. All All right, true values in access are -1. If it's not null, okay, if there's a value in it, it gets a value of 0 because that comes back as false. What happens when this gets sorted? -1 goes on top and the zeros go on the bottom. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move this field to the left of the other one. And now when I run it, look at that. All right, you can see the null values here are zeros and these guys are -1s. So now all we have to do is sort this column and then it'll get sorted correctly. See, all the -1s go first and then the zeros on the bottom. And then it gets sorted by date, right? Because the sorting goes left to right. Hide that as well so we don't see duplicates for that. And perfect. See? That's the null sort. Okay, it's a cool trick. I usually show it in Access Developer 26, so you guys are getting a little sneak preview of some of my more advanced techniques. All right, now I'm going to save this as task queue, and then I'm going to make a copy of that, copy paste, and we're going to call this one task not completed queue, or task open queue if you want to. All right, let's design this guy, and I'm going to add date completed, hide it, and set a criteria for is null. So this one's only going to show tasks that are open. There's no date completed. It's null. All right, save that. Now, here's where the VBA comes into play again. With one line of code and the appropriate buttons, we can make little guys right here to change where this form is getting its data from. Okay? Now, by default, I want to only show open stuff. So I'm going to change the record source from task T to task not completed Q. Okay, so when I open this up normally, it's going to show me just the open stuff, and it's going to be sorted with the newest stuff coming up first. Okay, I want a button down here that says show all. So design view, grab a button, drop that down here, cancel the wizard, and we're going to say show all tasks. All right, how do we do that? Right-click, build event. That'll bring up our VBA editor. Oh, I forgot to name it. All right, hold on. Command 11. Sorry. Don't want Alex yelling at me. I always forget to do this myself. I get in a hurry. I want to do the button, but it's a good idea to put button names in here. So show all button, even if it's something that simple, because now when you're looking in your code, you can see what button that is. All right, instead of just command 11. Okay. Now here's how you change where a form gets its records from. It's this simple. Again, one line of code. Me dot record source equals task queue. That's it. That's all you need to know. Like I said, a lot of this cool stuff is one line of code. Just learn a teeny tiny bit of VBA and you'll be golden. All right. This says me. Me means the current object. What's the current object? The form that you're working on. Okay. It has a record source property, which we've seen before, which is right there, record source. Most of the VBA properties are they get rid of the space in there. All right. So we're changing the record source property to task queue. That's all. All right. Save it, close it, open it up. Let's show all tasks. And look at that. It now shows every task, including the completed ones. Want a button to go back to what it should be? Well, that's easy. All right, we'll copy this. And we'll say show open tasks. Right click, build event. I forgot to name it again. See, again, I forget to name it. And I'm leaving these mistakes in the video, by the way, because if I forget it, you'll forget it. All right, show open task button. Okay, right click, build event. We can copy this, right? Copy, select it all, Control C, Control V. Task not completed queue. Save that, close it, close it, close it. All right, open it up. By default, we see just the open ones. Show all, there's all of them. Show open goes back to hiding the ones that are completed. See that? One little line of code. And that changing the record source has the side effect of requerying the list. It'll go out to the query, rerun it, pull all the data back in fresh. If you want to make another button to show just the completed ones, because we got all and open, right? If you want to see only the completed ones, make yourself another query, and then put another button down there. It's that simple. Literally just change this query and just change that one thing, right? Make this is not null. Okay? Do that for homework. And if you can't figure it out, if you have problems, questions, send me an email or post it in my forums or post it in the comments down below this video. Now, if you want to learn more, there's even more to come. In the extended cut for the members, we're going to do 3 things. A, we're going to replace those queries with actual SQL code in our buttons. So we don't have to make multiple queries in our database. We can just take the SQL code, put it straight in the button, and go to town. All right, I hate having tons and tons and tons and tons of extra queries in my database when just a simple little bit of SQL will do. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the click to sort. So you can click on these labels up top and sort based on that field. All right, here it is. We're going to sort for the description, click. See, it sorts on that one. Sort based on the importance, click. Right? Sort based on the due date, click. Same thing. All right, that's pretty handy. I mean, yeah, you can right click and do the sort A to Z, but this is so much easier and cooler and much more user friendly. And I'll show you how to do a search box. So you can come down here and type in Borg tab, and it shows you the Borg one. All right, or we can get rid of that. Or you can even search based on the notes. I'll type in stuff and hit tab. And look at that. I found this one because it's got stuff in it. See that? So we can search based on multiple fields. So all that is covered in the extended cut for the members. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. We're over 150 now. Gold members can download these databases, and you get access to the code vault on my website with all kinds of cool VBA tricks and tips and stuff like that in it. And don't forget, once again, if you want a task management database on steroids that's already built for you and has all these cool features already set up, check out my task management template. It's on my website. You'll find a link down below that you can click on. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Post down below. Thanks. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. How do you become a member? Click on the Join button below the video. After you click the Join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, 1 free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any tech help questions to me, and you'll get 1 free expert class each month after you finish the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for tech help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and 1 free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level, even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.